What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Thanks for stopping by. If you are new here, my name is James, and I like to talk about web development on this channel. And today I'm going to be doing something very stupid. Um, it's kind of a twofer. I like to try, new things. I'm trying to branch out. I'm probably not going to be switching my actual workflow away from Etch and WordPress, but for the purposes of creating content, I like to just try new random things. So you guys have watched me play around with Elementor's new editor 4. You watched me play around with Ollie. And so today we're going to do something similar. We're going to play around with something that I will never use in real life. I can already just tell you I'm not going to do this ever. At least not exactly in this way. But on top of just showing you guys some new web development tool and letting you see it in action and see if it's any good or not. I'm also responding to a challenge by Mark Zamansky. I don't remember why he challenged me to do this, but he challenged me to build a website without typing, with just using my voice. So obviously he's referring to using AI, but without using your keyboard. So I went ahead and installed Whisperflow, which is just an app that lets you, that converts your speech into text, which is, I believe, the same app that Mark himself uses. I literally just Googled speech to text, and Whisperflow is the first one that popped up. And I thought to myself, oh, I think that's what Mark uses. So I installed it. And here we are. And you might be wondering, okay, so that's how you're going to dictate your thoughts. But what are you going to dictate your thoughts to? Well, this might surprise you. I'm going to try out GoDaddy's new AI builder, which I think is still in beta. I guess I've been seeing people talk about it so much. I thought it was actually already released. But I just clicked on a link from LinkedIn. It brought me to a page where I can try it, and it says beta. I don't know if I am testing the free version or a paid version, because when I went to GoDaddy's website, it seemed like there were some different tiers, some different options, like Arrow Plus, Arrow Full Access, that kind of thing. I don't know what I'm beta testing right now, but yeah, we're going to give it a try. So I think what I'm going to do is try to build my personal website. I have a Figma file, which I just remembered I need to actually open. And I'm going to try my best to pretend this is real. And I just got this design from my designer, and I'm going to try and explain. And obviously, look, it's not going to work. I'm not going to be able to explain it so well that it actually creates exactly the design that my designer gave me, right? I just need something. I need to say something, and I'm not good at coming up with stuff at the top of my head. So I'm going to basically just use my website design as a template, we'll call it, a starting point, just so I have something to say, so I have something to describe. I'm going to pretend that what I'm looking at are actually just thoughts in my head that I'm coming up with on the spot. So I'm not even going to show you. Some of you haven't seen my new personal website yet, so I'm not even going to show you what it looks like yet. I'll show you at the end after we see what the AI bot comes up with. Then we'll see, how close did it get? And then maybe you can also judge, is it the AI's fault that it doesn't look very much like the design, or is it my fault? Do I suck at prompting? We'll find out, but this is for you, Mark. I'm going to try to build a website without typing. I'm going to use my voice. So let's click this button over here. There it is. There's Arrow. Arrow? I don't know how to pronounce that. I imagine it's Arrow. But this is what I got. This is what I saw when I clicked the links. Like I said, it's in beta. I don't know exactly what I'm testing. If we just go look at GoDaddy's website, let's see. let's go there. It wants you to start with the domain, of course. But up here we have arrow plus logo, arrow plus all access. My guess is that there's a free arrow, there's a paid arrow, there's an arrow that just does logos, and then this probably gets you both arrow plus and arrow plus logo. That's my guess. I just don't know which one I'm beta testing here. Is this the free version? Is it the paid version? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't. But all right, here we go. We're going to try this. Okay. I think the worst part about this process is I have to hold down 2 buttons on the keyboard this whole time while I talk. Little fingers are going to get tired. I can already tell. Okay. Test. Okay, it's working. Hooray, I'm ready to flow everywhere. Ew, bro. That's weird. Don't ever say that again. All right, robot. I would like for you to build me a website. This is going to be my personal website. My name is James Welbus. That's spelled Welbes. I am a web developer. I specialize in building WordPress websites properly. But building websites isn't all I do. I also do things like I create tutorial videos for WordPress products. I have worked as a product manager before, so I'm open to doing something like that again, either full time or even on a contract basis. And I also build WordPress plugins. So I'm going to be talking about all those things on this website. The navigation menu at the top, I'm thinking about like a pill design. So the whole navigation menu would be like in a long pill, and there would be let's say like a logo, which will just be my name, James Welbus, and then the menu items will be about me, services, work, contact, and hire me. And whichever one is selected will be kind of bold and brighter white than the rest of the menu items. We'll make the logo kind of a bluish purple. And that bluish purple will kind of be the primary color of this website. The hero section and that navigation menu will be centered at the top with a little bit of margin, so it's not touching the top of the screen. But it'll be centered at the top. The hero section, I'm thinking we'll have a picture of me. You can just generate a random image if that's something you're capable of doing. Just imagine a guy who has a black hat on. The hat says, I love BS. And then in parentheses, it says brand strategy underneath. And he's kind of holding the brim of his hat with his hands. If you're not able to create an image like that, just put in any random image. And that's going to be sort of a background image that takes up most of the right half of the screen. And on the left half of the hero section, there will be kind of a blurb that says, hi, I'm James Welbus. I specialize hold on. Let me think about this 1 second. Okay, it's just going to say, I build WordPress websites properly. So it'll be 2 sentences. I build WordPress websites is the first sentence, and properly is the second sentence. And then underneath that, in very big, bold letters and in all caps, it will say James on one line and Welbus, which is my last name, on the next line. The word Welbus will overlap the word James by just a few pixels on the bottom. So the top of the word Welbus will be just a few pixels on top of the bottom of the word James. And the letters will be kind of a gradient. It'll go from a pretty light gray on top, almost white, to kind of fading into a darker gray, but also fading into transparent on the bottom. Hopefully that made sense. The next section is going to have a small. Okay, so I accidentally clicked somewhere. I might have interrupted myself. So I'm going to see. Wow. What it did is it accidentally put all that stuff that I said into my Figma. How much of that did it get? All right, robot, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I think I got everything. Cool. So I just accidentally interrupted myself there. I got to remember I can't be clicking around on stuff while I'm dictating to the bot. Okay. So where did I leave off? Right here. I'm going to call it a badge, which is basically a pill that has it's like a icon where it's not a circle, but it's sort of like I don't know how to describe it. It's circular, but with bumps all around the edge. And inside of it is a check mark. So there's that icon on the left, and then on the right, it just says what I do. And underneath that will be a paragraph that says specialized WordPress services for clients that want it done right. And that will be in white. And below that, we're going to do like a carousel. Now, the carousel is going to start inside of our, whatever our content width is. I'll let you make that decision. So whatever the normal content width on the left side is, that's where the carousel is going to start, but it's actually going to go all the way to the right edge of the screen and even off the screen. So we don't want overflow, of course, but the carousel is going to go all the way to the edge of the screen. And there's going to be cards in this carousel. And for now, you can make up the images. They'll each have a background image, but then they're going to have some text, a white heading, and then a paragraph underneath the heading. And the first card is going to say web development will be the heading. And the paragraph, you can just do some lorem ipsum for right now because I don't want to sit here and describe everything. The second card will have the heading of product leadership, and go ahead and use some lorem ipsum again for the paragraph underneath. The third card will say prototypes and MVPs. Again, use some lorem ipsum for the paragraph underneath. And the fourth card, which will be off the screen normally, but when you scroll, because it's a carousel, then you'll be able to see the other cards. The fourth card will be tutorial videos. That'll be the heading. And then you can use some lorem ipsum for the paragraph. I want it to be a continuous carousel, so it just keeps restarting, from the beginning once you get through all four cards. So it's just kind of a continuous carousel that works by clicking and dragging with your finger, of course, but there should also be a left arrow on the left side of the carousel that allows folks to click that arrow on desktop and it cycles through the carousel. The next section will have another badge similar to the one we just did for that previous section, but this one will say featured projects. And this is going to have a tabbed interface. And so, first of all, underneath that badge I just mentioned, we'll have a heading that says real world solutions built for scale, reliability, and user experience. And then we're going to have the tabbed interface. So there's going to be 4 tabs, plugins, tutorial videos, websites, and product management. And when you click on one tab, it's going to show a grid of cards related to that tab. So when you click on plugins, there will be cards that display plugins that I've created. And if you click on websites, it'll show cards that display websites I've created. You can go ahead and just make up content for those cards for now. Each one will have a heading and then a paragraph of text underneath the heading. And you can make up a random image as the background for each of those cards. The next section will have another badge again. This badge will say about me. The heading for this section will be my approach. And then you can do 2 paragraphs of lorem ipsum underneath that. And then a call to action button that says work with me. And then below that, we'll have another heading that says my principles. And then we're going to have sort of a services, kind of a standard services layout where there's like an icon, a heading, and then like a sentence of text for each service. But these aren't services, they're principles. But you probably know what I mean by that sort of typical services layout that you see a lot of times where there's an icon, a heading, and a paragraph text. That's what we're going to do for these principles. The first principle, the icon should be like a person, like that sort of generic profile person icon with a check mark by it. That's the heading will be user first, editor friendly, and the paragraph can say every interface is designed for the people who will use it daily. The second principle will be like a ribbon that you would see, like a first, second, third place ribbon that you might get. And these icons, by the way, will be our primary purplish blue color. And the heading there will be standards matter, and the text will be clean, maintainable code that follows WordPress best practices. The next principle will be a lightning bolt for the icon. The heading will be performance over flourish, and the text will be fast, efficient experiences without unnecessary bloat. The last principle will be like a shield with a check mark in it as the icon. The heading will be reliability at scale, and the text will be built to handle growth without breaking under pressure. Please tell me you got all that. Okay. Let's keep going. There's a few more things. I've described the whole website, but now I'm going to, hopefully I'm not going to hit my limit on Whisperflow because I'm only using the free version, which said 2,000 words, I think it said I get per week or something. I don't know. Let's see here. The overall look of this website is going to be a dark mode type theme. So the background will basically be black. And then the text will be white, of course. Our primary color is that bluish purple color that I mentioned. And yeah, I think that's about it, honestly, for this. Let's see what you can do with all that. Okay. I don't know what else to tell it, man. There's some other things going on in the design that I just don't know how to explain. So, also, I just realized I skipped a section, but that's okay. A couple sections. Let's see what it does. Obviously, it's not going to look anything like the design because, you just can't describe a design, but we'll see what it does with that description. For all I know, maybe it's going to come up with something that's actually better than the Figma file that I have. That'd actually be kind of funny. My next video is building this arrow site in Etch. Okay. It's going to create a plan for my personal website. Oh, it's making some images. Let me start by getting the images we need. Then I'll create the home page. Okay. I only told it to use one. Well, I did say image a couple times. Only one of those images is of a person. The other images aren't of people. So it'll be interesting to see what it does here. If the layout and everything looks good, it doesn't matter what the pictures are. If the pictures are stupid, you would be replacing those anyways with your real pictures. I have a feeling I'm going to be cutting a lot of this out of the video, depending on how long this takes. Oh, maybe not. Oh, snap. Okay. That actually looks closer than I expected. I did tell it I wanted a dark theme, though. Is it done? Oh, no, it says processing. Please wait. Okay. The menu, it did a great job of translating what I said, I think. You remember me, I did it at the end. So maybe it's going through everything I said. And then when it gets to the end where I said, I want a dark theme, it's going to maybe go back and change everything. Because right now, this is definitely not a dark theme. Where are we at? Okay, that's not bad. It's a carousel. It's not exactly how I described it. Or maybe it is, since it doesn't seem to be having, it didn't seem to create like a container. It's just everything is going all the way from left to right. What is this? Chat with arrow. What? I don't need to use? Oh no. It's gonna be funny if I could have just used voice directly in here. Okay, perfect. Let me hand off the color scheme agent. Oh, it's got a new agent for the color scheme. I'm thinking this one. Oh, look at that. Nice. Save that. Develop. Now we're back to the developer. So we got two agents working on this. We got a developer and a designer. Or the color scheme agent. Interesting. Oh, we just changed this up a little bit. Get commit. Bro, I'm not trying to commit this to anything. Got a tabbed interface here. Still doing stuff. Think. Maybe it's not. It says completed. Okay. Oh yeah, your portfolio is ready with the deep purple professional theme. Would you like to build any dedicated pages? No. I might. Okay. Does this work? It does work. That's cool. What does this look like? Is it responsive? Yeah, it is responsive. That's not. Um, carousel is absolutely not responsive. Oh, what is this? I can. What? Oh, there's a mobile and a desktop. Okay. What's this? Refresh preview, open new tab. Ooh, code editor. All right. Let's add like a content width of like 1200 pixels. See if you can make that carousel mobile responsive. So like on mobile, it should just show one card at a time that you can cycle through. The section with the heading My Approach, I don't want to center the text, but I do want to center the whole content, in the center of the page, and maybe adding that content width of 1200 will actually mostly take care of what I'm trying to do there. But it just looks weird with it all being shoved over to the left of the screen like that. We definitely need some sort of consistent container content width on this website. Let's center the icon and the heading and the text on all of the principles. This is actually not terrible. I'm going to see if we can work on this image a little bit, actually. Processing, please wait. Mark, I can't believe you're making me do this, man. Okay, what did it do? And I broke the hero section. That's weird. Oh, because it's putting it in a container. Okay, that almost worked. Getting there though. npm run type check. Okay. The text James Welbus in the hero section is being cut off on the right side. Now that we've added it inside a container, maybe we need to reduce the font size a little bit. Actually, instead of that, let's just make sure the text is on top of everything else so it doesn't get cut off by anything. The image in the hero section, I want an image of mostly just a man's face. So like a portrait, and I don't want there to be a background on that image. I want the image itself to be kind of the background of the hero section, and I want it to take up most of the right half of the hero section. Let's center the What I Do badge. Let's center the Featured Projects badge. Let's bring the About Me badge over to line up with the My Approach heading. Let's center the My Principles heading. I honestly might call that good if it's able to handle all that. Hey, it made the carousel responsive. Nice work. Killing it. Might have to take back every bad thing I've ever said about GoDaddy. That's not happening. You know, if I actually published this, that the hosting would be slow and buggy, and you guys know. Okay, kind of fixed that. Has it worked on this image yet? This sentence makes me think that it thinks it's done. Centered. That's over. That's centered. Okay, so it didn't do anything to this image. For the picture of the man in the hero section, I want you to generate a completely new image. I want this image to be mostly just the man's face. So a close-up portrait headshot type photo. And I want you to remove the background of that image. And I want it to take up most of the right half of the hero. Bruh. Again, I probably, if this was real, I wouldn't spend this much time on that image because I would be swapping it out with my real image anyways. So it doesn't have to nail this image, but we're testing it. We're just testing it out to see what it can do. Created these images. For some reason, it didn't make. Okay. No, I asked it to remove the background and it didn't. So I'm going to give up on that. It's not super great at generating images, but honestly, the rest of it isn't terrible. It did not handle my terrible explanation of that badge icon. It just made it a circle. You'll see what I was going for. How did these do? That's good. That's good. That's good. Those are very good renditions of what I described. I don't think I told it to do this, did I? Or this. It made all this up. Interesting. And it is pretty responsive. That, what? For the navigation menu on mobile, when I click on the icon to expand the menu, I don't know how to say this. It's changing the size of the navigation pill, which makes it look terrible. The pill right now contains the logo, which is just my name, and it contains the hamburger icon. And that's all that it should contain. The actual menu item on mobile, after I click the hamburger button, should be outside of that pill. So the border of the pill shouldn't change when I click on the hamburger icon. Just have the menu pop out as just white text for each menu item on a black background, and have it underneath the pill that contains the logo and the hamburger button. Can't wait to hear y'all's feedback on my prompts. Am I just dumb? Are these the dumbest prompts? It is weird. I don't normally talk to AI bots like this. I traditionally was a typer. Um, I've recently started talking. One thing I did the other day, just as a test, I copied an RFP, a request for proposal, and I just pasted it into an AI bot, and I said, write me a proposal for this. And it did, and it was terrible. And then I did it again, but this time I talked through it, and I just went through the whole RFP. I read the RFP out loud, and I talked about it and gave my thoughts and what I wanted to include in the proposal. Excuse me. And of course, it produced a much better result when I did it that way. So I think I'll be talking to the AI bots more. Let's see how it did. There it is. That's good. I don't, not crazy about that green color, but, yeah, that looks good. And it didn't break it on desktop. We got ourselves a container here, so it looks a lot better. Our carousel works. It's weird. It doesn't seem to work like it's like it's starting at the end or something. So I click on it, it skips a bunch, but then after that, it's also going the wrong way. And then it's restarting instead of being a continual carousel, which I already explained that I wanted it to be continuous carousel. So I don't know how I could explain that differently. The tabbed interface works. What's that look like on mobile? Here we go. For that section that has the tabbed interface in it, on mobile, I want to stack those tabs and make them full width. So the tabs that say plugins, tutorial videos, websites, and product management, I want each of those to be stacked vertically, and I want each of them to be full width on mobile. Okay, you almost nailed it. Problem is the cards underneath those tabs are covering up the last tab and part of the third tab on mobile. So I think we need to move the cards down a little bit so they're not covering up the tabs. I kind of regret telling it what to do. I should have just said cards are covering the tabs. Fix it and then see what it does. So I don't know what's causing it. I mean, it must be something's position absolute, right? Oh, that's another thing. I can't wait to inspect this. Okay, that's way too far down. Okay, well now you moved the cards way too far down and it looks weird. We don't need a ton of space between the tabs and the cards. I just don't want the cards covering the tabs. I'm also fairly impressed with the speed. It doesn't take the bot an incredibly long amount of time to do stuff. There we go. That's better. Okay. Wasn't quite done yet. Sorry. On mobile, the plugins tab has a dark black background all the time, even if I click on another tab. It should be, whenever I click on one of those tabs, that tab should have the black background. Okay. Lesson learned. I hadn't clicked into the text box. Is it working on desktop? Oh, that's because, okay. So it's supposed to have black, and then there's the gray. Okay, so what's it doing? The tabs look fine on desktop, but on mobile, the black background only seems to appear behind the plugins tab. And so it just doesn't look very good. It's not clear which tab you've selected. Again, it's working on desktop, but on mobile, it's not working. Did I not click in this time? Or did I did it again? The tabs on mobile are not styled properly. On desktop, there's a black background behind all the tabs, and then there is a sort of grayish background that appears on whichever one you've selected. But on mobile, there's only a black background behind the plugins tab. None of the other tabs have a black background, so it's not clear at all which one you've selected. This is world's worst AI prompter. Third time's a charm. I nailed it. Oh, I see the issue. The tab list has inline flex, which means it only wraps around its content. Hey, bro. What if I just click the button? Still needs adjustment. Still not typing. I feel like if it doesn't fix it, I'm going to give up. Yep, I give up. All right. Not, oh, and now it's broken on desktop. Oh. It still looks bad on mobile, but also you've completely broken it on desktop now. Please put it back to the way it was so that it at least looks good on desktop. I just said, please. Please, sir. If it pleases the crown. Man, I made the WordPress cult mad today, y'all. Twitter's a fun place. Okay, what do we do? All right, so at least it fixed it on desktop. Any chance that fixed it on mobile? Nope, it's back to, okay, cool. Not terrible, right? I mean, is there like a full screen? Let's get rid of that. Open a new tab. Is this like a true full screen? Here we go. Here's my website, you guys. I wish I was that handsome, you know? You know what I'm saying? Carousel almost works. These tabs look okay. And yeah, this is not terrible. A little bit of a hover effect on there. So here's what my website actually looks like, which is what I was trying to describe. So there's the image I was trying to describe myself. I should have said, I think I kept saying I wanted to take up most of the right half. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to take up most of the hero, actually, just not all of it. So that was my fault. I could have told it to make this bigger. I forgot to tell it to make this part purple. That's my bad. This text, not terrible, right? Based on my description, not terrible. I would have said to make it bigger, and I could have tweaked that. This took this to actually make this was a pain in my ass, to be honest, because I don't even want to go into why, but it was not fun to do. I didn't even try to explain these blue glowy thingies or this boxed texture thing. Thought about maybe trying, but I was like, no, I don't know what to say. This is the badge icon I was trying to describe, but otherwise it did a pretty good job. You can also see my navigation menu. I think I actually I might like theirs better. I do need to work on this to make it more readable when there's certain stuff behind it, but trying to go based on the Figma file I was given. So basically everything needs to be bigger. I just need to tell it to make a lot of this text bigger. I also didn't tell it which fonts to use. I don't know if it can even handle that. I forget what fonts we're even using. I think it was Gotham. Yeah. I can't remember. Is that a Google font or did I have to go find that somewhere? Here's what the carousel is supposed to look like. I told it I wanted it to start within the content width and then go to the full screen on the right, but it just made it full screen. Whatever. I could swap these images out and then they would look, pretty decent. I didn't really describe what this button should look like, so it made the decision to make it my primary color. Not a terrible decision to make. And I don't give it any more information. Here's what my tabs look like. And here's what my tabs look like on mobile. This is what I was trying to go for, full screen stacking. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Honestly, I'm fairly impressed. And then it made this stuff up. I didn't tell it to do any of that. I am fairly impressed, honestly, with what it came up with. It's not, it's not great. I like what this Fiverr designer gave me for $300 better than this, but this is not terrible. Dude, if I had to just put up a website, just a brochure website, for a small business, like I'm going to open a bakery or something, and I just need a website, I feel like, I spent, what is this video? It's been half hour or something, 40 minutes. Not bad, It's either that or you got to pay someone to do it. What is it like to make this thing live? Pretty impressive. I also want to look at the code. What does this say? Oh, that's probably preview mode, code editor, and select mode. Oh, select mode, not select mode, select mode. So I can click on stuff and select it. All right. Make this text bigger. Are you listening? What's happening right now? It selected it down here. Make this text larger. So I've done stuff like that with Lovable too. You can click on stuff so that you can edit that one thing. We'll play around with this code editor too, see what that's like. Hey, it made the text bigger. Nice work. Code editor. What do we got? What do we got? Got ourselves a React app. So much going on for this landing page, you know? React is fun. Um, okay. Components, fallbacks, layouts, blah, blah, blah. So much going on. So much. Well, if you're into that sort of thing, this is what you would be editing. So you would probably send this to, I don't see any options to actually do anything with this website. Published, publish now. Okay. Backup security database. Does it have a database? No. Doesn't have any tables. Okay. So if I needed to create a database, I would do that through the chat. That's actually depending on how that works. Now, I haven't done it for a while, but I've used, some of these AI bots to create a SaaS, and it made me create an account with Supabase, which is like another, it's just a database service, database as a SaaS, I guess. And so then there's a little bit of, I'd have to copy the API key and whatnot. So there's a little bit of setup. Bev starting her bakery probably isn't going to be able to go through all that hassle, to be honest. So if this can do it all in one, set up its own database and not make me have to go set up an account and connect to a third-party database, that would actually be pretty nice. How do I get back? Unclick settings? No. Uh, uh, Go to chat. Okay. See here. I want you to try and keep the same style going, and create a blog page. And I will, of course, need a database for this. So if you would be so kind as to create said database for me so that I can add new blog posts, that would be great. And I would like for you to create one blog post, or maybe actually create 3 blog posts, because I want to see the blog page, which will display some sort of grid, of my posts. And then I want to see a single post page as well. So after I click on a blog post, I'll see the single blog page. And I want to see that. And so I'll need you to set up a database. Go ahead and just make up content, lorem ipsum. Go ahead and make up a featured image. I'll be the author of each post, make up some dates that they were published. And yeah, that's it. It's about to get real, folks. Creating a database. I'm going to delete some stuff so I have enough room to finish recording this video. It already stopped recording on me once because I ran out of space. Okay. There's so much stuff to delete, man. Is it done already? Nope, still processing. Okay. Sort by file size. I need to delete the big stuff, y'all. Still processing. It's doing stuff. It's making some images for me. All right. Still processing. Goodness gracious. Probably edit some of this out. What is it doing? Excellent. Now let me create the blog listing page. Okay. Did it create a database for you with database, blog listing page? Perfect. Now let me start implementing, create a database schema. Okay. I will say, and maybe, maybe Lovable, Replit, whatever, all these other apps, maybe they're already doing this, but when I used them, I had to connect to a third-party database. So in my opinion, that would be a pretty big bonus to using Arrow if you can get a database without having to go through all that setup. I've been wondering if Wix, what is Wix calling their builder? Base 44. I wonder if theirs creates a database for you too. You'd think it would. I mean, these GoDaddy, Wix, they are website building, platforms. So they definitely have the infrastructure in place already to set up a database. So I'd like to think that they would just do that for you and not make you connect to a third-party database. But who knows? Who knows? Ooh, it's cooking now. Oh, it's done. Okay. Let me see. Nice. Okay. That's not ugly. I mean, ugly is subjective. I don't know. I'm not crazy about the white background. I almost think it should have the purple background by default and then maybe go white when you hover over it. But I'm kind of done with that part of this experiment. I'm not going to sit here and try to and keep prompting. You've already seen me prompt this thing enough times. Pretty confident if I said, hey, make the border purple and then make it white on hover, it could handle that. So let's click on a blog post. Again, this looks good, man. It's smart enough to make it nice and narrow. What was the point of doing all this? Oh, there's a database, right? Look at that. There's a post table. That's cool. I like that. Good job, GoDaddy. Security, run analysis, don't care. Backups. You don't need to back this up, bro. Ooh, we have some secrets if we need those. Okay. Cool. Domain. Publish now. Can I just do it on a temporary domain? Looks like it. So I haven't bought a domain for this. Because I do want to see the actual final product. I want to view the source code, see what it looks like. Curious. This may take a few moments. Well, how many is a few and how long is a moment? Man, this tells me nothing. What's this? History. Okay. Media. Oh, I got a little media library. Probably already better than WordPress's. Huh. So none of the images that are being used on the website are in my media library. So I guess, but I guess this is just for me to upload stuff when I want to use actual images. So maybe I could. Can't get to that image in my Figma file. I don't know how to use Figma. Oh, it's in there. Okay, so if I click export as a PNG, okay, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add that. All right. Can I rename it? Can edit it. Cool. Can I just rename it though? It created a. Okay. Can I delete? No, not both of them. Just one. Right click. Oh. Rename down here. No. Insert. Insert where? What happens if I click that? Okay, we'll throw that in the tab. How do I get back to my chat? I struggled with this last time. I remember that. Here it is, chat. Insert. Oh, it inserts it in the chat. Okay. Cool. On the homepage hero section, replace the headshot with this photo that I just uploaded. And I want it to be the background of the hero section, and I want it to take up about 60% of the hero section, with it aligned mostly to the right. See what it does. See what it does. The cool thing about, if you'll notice, I said 65 and then I changed my mind to 60%, but that's not in the prompt. That's whisper flow. It kind of tries to figure out what you mean. And when you change your mind like that, it doesn't include the changing your mind part. It just includes your final decision. So that's kind of neat. Yeah, not horrible. Not horrible. I'm not gonna keep playing around with it, but this image is also terrible. I had to clean this up before I put it on my actual website. The Fiverr guy did not do a great job of cutting this image out for the Figma. Okay, what were we doing? We were testing the database. That worked out pretty well. We published it. Where is it? Is it this? Yeah. Oh, so I have to republish it. Where's that button? I have to go into settings to publish. There should be a publish button. Oh wait, is that up there already? Yeah. I just didn't see it. Publish. Ooh, I gotta pay now. All right. Well, at least I got to publish it once, so I can inspect this bad boy. What do we got? Okay, here's our header. Div, nav. It's not terrible. Okay. So we wrapped all the content between the header and footer, we wrapped in a div. Wondering why I did that. Is that where it got its container from? No. Section, line item center, blah, 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 blah. What do we got inside this section? Hero section might be a little different. Okay, so yeah, they just created a container. Looks like we're using Tailwind like every other AI bot. No surprise there. Yeah, I mean, it's not like, I'm not sure this is how I would have done it. Okay, we're getting a little divception-y here now. So the SVG is in a div. I can almost see that because you want to have a background. And then the whole pill is a div, and then the whole pill is in a div. That's not necessary. And then, yeah. See, I don't think all these divs are necessary at all. We would just need a section, and then you could do the pill, which would be one div, a little flex div with an icon and some text, and then this wouldn't need to be a div, just a heading, and then this would be, carousel. That's complex, bunch of stuff. So it's a little divception-y. Not crazy about that, but it's also not like crazy terrible. This one seems a little better. Div, and they didn't put, or did they? Yeah, no, they didn't put the pill and the heading in a div in this section like they did in the previous section. So that's at least one less div in this section. But yeah, it is using Tailwind. You're, you know, you're into that sort of thing. No surprise there. Every AI bot I've used uses Tailwind, Next.js, whatever. So no surprise there at all. But yeah, there you go. I think that's a pretty good, honestly, I think that was a pretty good showcase, is that what we call it, of what Arrow can do. I never ran into like limitations. I don't see anything saying, hey, with the premium version, you can do this. So maybe I am beta testing the plus version. I don't know. Maybe I could actually just do 5 seconds of research and actually click on those links. See what Arrow Plus is. Dazzle customers with a standout logo. Okay, so it'll make a logo. Well, what's this then? This is confusing. This is create a unique AI-powered logo and more with Arrow Plus. But isn't that this? I clicked on Arrow Plus logo. So what's the difference? Arrow Plus, what's included? Arrow Plus logo is included in Arrow Plus. Okay. Oh, look, it knows what it means to start a carousel in the left part of your container, but then have it go off screen on the right. It knows how to do that, just doesn't want to do it when I ask it to. It also knows how to make it go in the right direction. Arrow Plus Site Optimizer. Get your site in front of more customers, improve their experience, increase accessibility with our AI-powered SEO tools. How about I increase accessibility with an accessibility tool and I increase SEO with an SEO tool? I know there's quite a bit of overlap there, but that just seemed like a weird way to say that. What else? Air Plus compliance. Okay. Air Plus images. So I feel like I was using Arrow Plus because it did make some images for me. So I don't know why they're calling these out. So, okay. So Plus logo is just a logo app that is included with Plus. And then what's all in all access? What is this? Logo, websites and marketing, commerce, email. Okay, so just a bunch of add-ons and whatnot. Okay, I kind of feel like I was beta testing Arrow Plus there. Let me know if you disagree. But yeah, I think that was a pretty good rundown, honestly, of what Arrow can do. I am fairly impressed. I would tweak some things here more, if I was trying to make it look more like what I wanted, making this needs to be bigger. A lot of stuff needs to be bigger. So I could put probably I bet if I put another hour into this, it still wouldn't look like my design, of course, but I feel like it would be something I wouldn't be embarrassed to put up on the internet, if I'm being honest. Yeah, cool. Let me know if you guys, if you want to watch me kind of go through that process with another app. I've done some videos in the past with things like Lovable and whatnot, but in internet technology terms, that was basically decades ago when I did that. So I'm sure they've gotten better. Also, let me know if you want me to try Gemini, because I do have a paid API key set up with that, so I get to use all the pro features of Gemini. And everybody's been talking about how much better it is at layouts and stuff. So if you want to see me play around with that, in a similar fashion as what we did here, let me know. I've played with Replit, Lovable, V0, and Bolt, and Gemini. If there's another AI bot that I didn't just mention that you think is better than all of those, let me know, and maybe I'll try that one. But yeah, here you go, Mark. Let me know how I did, man. Did I meet your expectations? Did I complete the challenge? I know this isn't something that you would publish, but I'm not going to sit there and make y'all watch me tweak this for an hour to make it publishable. But hopefully Mark feels that I have completed his challenge and doesn't lambast me publicly on the interwebs, because that would hurt my feelings. But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.